Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, you're just getting too much of me lately. It's almost like I care about you, but guess what? I do not. My name is Brandon. I'm the CFO, I'm the COO, I'm the CEO, I'm the supreme Ayatollah of the Rags to Riches community. And plus one in chat here, if you hate these streams, Marcus Aurelius. I read a book about you once. You hate the stream, plus one if you hate the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see who could be in chat right now. Terrafin, you low down dirty son of a gun. Finbear, trying to shame me for not seeing his horrible stream earlier. I'm glad I didn't show up. Magnus in the house. What's up, Magnus? Jen Hex, my man, Craig Wadding. Hell yeah. Born yesterday. Twitter stock up. PulseChain on the way. Elon/Richard will win. We're going to get into some cool stuff today, folks. Pretty excited. Hot Rollins soon. We need a V3 next week. Testnet V3. May 15th, 2024, he says, we shall see crypto heartbeat in the house. Stock market is crashing. PulseChain is launching. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. Davis, Flat Earth Davis, if you're in the chat, I feel like you're always there. You're like omnipotent. Let me tell you something, man. We talked about this about 6 months ago. I said, PulseChain's going to launch in a bear market. He said, no, PulseChain's not launching. PulseChain's launching in bear market, folks. I think that's for the best. We'll go over this. Joshua, get this effing ginger off YouTube. Horrible content. I will not subscribe. Do not like, do not comment, do not subscribe. That's the secret sauce. You guys think I'm just playing you. You think it's a marketing scheme. It's not a marketing scheme. Well, it's slightly a marketing scheme. But the cool thing is when I say these types of things, whenever you disagree with me, I can tell you that I told you not to like, comment, or subscribe. And I don't care what you think. I do care a little bit. Not enough to make a difference. But I don't want people here who don't want to be here. I don't want to stir up trouble. That's not my intention. I want like-minded people. I want to speak truth. And if you don't like truth, I don't want you here. I don't want you here. We're going to play the slow game. We're going to build this thing the right way, folks. By the way, you have BitBoy telling people it's a great time to buy XRP since the market is crashing. So, guys, there's some truth to that. There actually is some truth to that. Do I endorse people buying XRP? Why in the real hell would you buy something that has been around for what? How long? Like 7 or 8 years? It was investigated by the SEC, and it might do a 10x from where it is now over the next 5 years. Is that a good way to allocate your funds? In my humble ginger opinion, I would say no. But we do have some good news. In an unprecedented move, Richard Hart states for the second time in 2 weeks that mainnet launch is on point for mid-May. Plus one in chat if that feels good. Minus one in chat if you think it's a bold-faced, dirty friggin' Richard lie. Do you guys think it's a lie here? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Let's check. Let's see chat. Crypto Heartbeat says, is it dark? This dude Rags to Riches in chat. He says it's dark somewhere. Kind of cool there. Plus one. People out plus one. We're seeing more plus ones right now than we are minus ones. More plus ones than minus ones, I think. So I think you guys, so in my opinion, yeah, that's pretty cool. Logically speaking, he said it once. He said it again in 2 weeks, which means obviously he's in contact with the developers, and the developers are saying, yeah, things are looking good. You know, what's he say? He says mid-May is still the target for the world's largest free airdrop. V3 AMM bot is working. SAC balances look great. Most SAC complaints are user error. So, folks, I'm going to take that as a W. I'm going to take that as a W. And I mean, my confidence increased from like 25% confidence. And when I saw this tweet today, it's probably going up to about 60 to 70% confidence at this point. If we see V3 and V3 doesn't crash and burn to the ground, which we have no inclination to think that it would. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Get ready. What's your play here? I mean, what's the play? Are you going to start buying up ERC20s? Hex, maybe? You're going to get yourself a little bag of Hedron? Maybe? Pulse Doge? Elon? I mean, he's meme coins pump because of Elon. Pulse Doge coin? Meme coins pump because of Elon. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I mean, all right, let's see what chat said, because I'm curious. I'm actually legitimately curious what you guys think about this. Bro, you know any hopium dealers? You guys know me. I keep it. See, all these people on YouTube, they're like, I keep it 100. You know, I'm the realist, blah, 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 blah. I honestly do feel. Now, you guys have my blind side. You actually watch me objectively. And the thing is, when you're a content creator, everybody's looking to roast you. They're taking every opportunity for you to slip up just to slam you in the comments. It's like the drive-by media. They just, boom, drive-by, and then they're gone. That's what they do. But I think that I keep it pretty level. And I'm like I said, my confidence has shot up at this point, up to about probably 60 or 70%. That we're going to see some fireworks in May, PulseChain wise. All right. My wife is about to have no truth, but how true is that? How many people do you have in your life right now that's texting you every week and they're like, is it launched yet? Is it launched yet? Is it up yet? And it's almost like they're blaming you. And they're like, you told me XYZ. And I'm like, I told these people, I tell them from the start, you can't sell this for 2 years. If we're going to do this, you have to promise me you're not going to sell this. You have to promise me you don't even look at the freaking price chart. Because if you do, your paper-handed hands are just going to sell and you're going to cry. You're going to cry. Don't do it. What's up? All right. Yeah, my guy rags more than twice a day. I know. Dude, what is up with this? Ryan Hungate coming in hot. $50? I do not like you at all. You know what? It's so cool to be paid by somebody that doesn't like you. Is that not the coolest thing in the world? Ryan, I just don't like any. Dude, you look like one of those old rusty programs in the Matrix. That's what you look like. Don't like you at all. Thank you. I'm an upgraded software version, I assure you. Let's see here. Ryan, nice, cool. Thank you so much. That's huge. That is huge. All right, gosh, man, you guys are lighting them up today. What? Matty Allen? Dude, Matty, you want to talk about a galaxy brain? Matty Allen's a really, really smart dude. He's a smart dude. He's a lot smarter than I am, and I'm not ashamed to say that. All right. My bro, worst influencer on YouTube. Hate this. That aside, PLS launching is in the small bear verified leader. LFG FTW, it's a P1. Outstanding. There won't be any V3. Some people are saying that. This is it, Rags. Our dreams are coming true. I hope that on May 14th, Richard tweets and says, folks, it's not going to be for another 6 months. Oh, I would love to see all of the vitriol on Twitter and just the the mass suicides. Everybody pick a bridge. We'll all meet there and jump. I get paid by 2 weeks by someone who doesn't like me. Isn't that crazy? Dude, we're making that FU money on here. We got 83 people. Why the heck? 83? Unsatisfactory for this day of trading? Hexagon Chief, don't ever say that again. Good night, man. We got some people in here. All right, we're just going off the chain. Well, there's that too. All right, guys. All right, so let's get into this, guys. I know that your time is valuable. I don't really value your time, but I know you got some better things to do. So let's get you in. Let's get you out. Are whales going to keep the price down until mainnet? Are we going to see some FOMO, guys? Are we going to see some purchases? Let me tell you something about Hex. Everybody's been freaking out because Hex has been down. This is completely 100%, 1,000,000% normal. If you download an instance of TradingView or you just create an account, go to TradingView and just look. Go and look at Bitcoin. Go and look at Ethereum. Go and look at Solana. Go and look at FTM. Go and look at all these chains. Check these chains out, folks. What happens when things launch? They correct. Markets get overextended and things correct back down. And I'm going to prove to you right now, right this very second, that you need to have time frames of really 2 to 4 years. And actually, we're going to do that in a second, but I want you to stick around because I want to prove it to you. You hear the paper hand thing, you hear the diamond hand thing, but a lot of new folks, a lot of people that are new to this, they can't conceptualize it because they can't see it. I'm going to prove it to you. Most people can't, and it's not because they can't. They just don't look to do it. We're going to do that. Let's talk about the stock market right now. 180 companies reporting quarterly results before May. The stock market is in bad shape. And I think that the media at large, the governments around the world, are doing everything possible to try to hoodwink us. But there's only so much that you can do because the market's going to do what it's going to do. Let's look at this. Let's take a look. I'm going to share this tab. All right. Kind of interesting here. And let me maximize this actually. All right. So here's a little chart that we're going to take a look at. All right. And these are very, very similar time frames here. I'll kind of move this over. Yeah. All right. So on the bottom, we have the total crypto market cap. Okay. On the top, we have the NASDAQ Composite Index. What are you guys noticing right now for the NASDAQ Composite Index? It's underneath the moving averages, and it is not looking strong. Okay, now you have the media putting a spin on this right now. You know what the spin is? The stock market is absolutely tanking right now. It's crashing, and they're trying to put this positive spin on it that the giants, the tech giants, the Apple folks, the Microsoft folks, who else? Amazon, Alphabet, these folks, they make up about 20% of the capital of the S&P 500, and they've had pretty good earnings reports. So they're focusing on all the good, and it's because they don't want people to panic. They don't want people to panic, and they don't want things to look bad for the government and the Fed, who guys, by the way, created this problem. They sacrificed short-term comfort for long-term viability. And right now, we are suffering the consequences of humans making decisions for our money. And oh yeah, guess what, guys? Microsoft beat earnings projections, up 18% since last quarter. Yay, they're announcing that they're buying Blizzard next year for $69 billion. Outstanding. Growth in Amazon's expected to be up. Growth in Apple's expected to be up. Why do you guys think this is? Because we're just the pass-through. We're the pass-through for inflation. The government prints the money, and they're printing the money for the corporations. You guys think they're printing it for us? We're just the pass-through. It's like a dry cleaning spot. You know, all the gangsters and the mafia dudes, they got all these dry cleaning spots because they're cleaning money. They're letting it pass through us, and they know we're going to spend it with these companies, and the companies grab it and they hoard it. And but here's the really bad thing. You got to understand that profit and cash is the lifeblood of a company, and the government understands that too. So the company becomes dependent upon the government. So when they hear that there's going to be a stimulus or something like this passed, the companies are frothing at the mouth because they know they're going to be the positive benefactor of whatever happens there. And the government knows that they can get this passed with very little pushback. Because the people, they're mostly too dumb to understand. Well, not too dumb. They're ignorant. They're ignorant to the inner workings of how this functions. So the populace, they don't know. The companies love it. They don't care if the country's getting destroyed. And the government's going to do what the government does. It's going to print trillions. You're going to get 1,400, and then they're going to take the rest of those trillions, and they're going to give it to their people. It's really a screwed up situation. Stock market's tanking. Look at this. What are we down? Like November of 2021. If we go to the stock market right now, NASDAQ composite, and we're down 22%. And it's like that meme with that dog in the kitchen and the dog's drinking coffee and it looks like it's Xanaxed out of its mind and the whole kitchen is burning around it. And the title at the bottom is like, oh, this is fun. I'll tell you this. This is what's interesting. This is why I wanted to do this. Like I said, the top is the NASDAQ composite. The bottom is the total crypto market cap. Folks, I'll tell you this. For the first time, it looks like the total crypto market cap, it looks like a stronger market structure than the NASDAQ. Everybody talks about decorrelation and decoupling, et cetera, et cetera. This looks a little bit stronger. Actually, it looks a lot stronger. Even if we fall out of this flag, this wedge, whatever the hell you want to call it, even if we fall out, we're not going to fall out and suffer the amount of loss that I think the stock market is gearing up to look at. There's got to be something. The government is probably going to pull some little trick out of its sleeve. But you got to understand that when you inflate a currency for as long as you've inflated it, and for the amount that you have, that inflation is a very, very serious problem, and the government has to rug the economy. They have to slow the economy down. So they raise interest rates from the top, and the top interest rates trickle down all the way to consumers. What do I mean by the top interest rates? Government raises, the Federal Reserve raises the interest rates that banks are allowed to lend to each other. All right. So that interest rate is increased. If that interest rate is increased, then you have the second tier. You've got the mid-level banks. And those mid-level banks, in order to pay those upper-level banks, they have to increase their interest rates on their people. And it trickles all the way back down to the consumer. It decreases growth. It stunts jobs. It's the biggest rug pull in history. If you want to talk about rug pulls and scams, look at any of the stuff on my videos that I've talked about with the Federal Reserve. It's the biggest scam in history, folks. So that's what they're doing. They're having to rug pull the economy, and they're trying to make it sound like it's a good thing right now because they don't want to freak people out. And they certainly don't want to take any type of accountability for their discretionary spending policy, which is complete garbage and trash. In my humble, non-educated, non-college educated opinion. So we talked about Elon Musk. Talked about Elon Musk yesterday quite a bit. I'm actually going to take a little break here. Let's take a look at, let's take a look at chat. Those inflation chickens are coming home to roost. That's right. That's right. We're just in that burning kitchen. Everything's okay here. Everything's all right. Trickle down PP economics. The CBDCs are crypto for people who don't understand crypto. Ooh, CBDCs are nightmarish, folks. Programmable money. They will literally be able to, like just to illustrate the power of a CBDC. I'm not saying this will happen. If you're in New York State and they decide that there's an obesity problem, and you remember that whole thing where they stopped people from getting large fountain drinks, they disallowed businesses from selling those. Well, with CBDCs and a cashless society, they're going to be able to program those digital dollars that in your government issued wallet, you'll be able to program those things not to be used on any type of fountain drink. Ooh. That's some micro resolution for some authoritarian stuff. That's kind of scary. But then you think about everything else. Here's another thing. Here's a little teaser. And all of this we're going to talk about. Let's say that you make over, let's say you've got $1 million in the bank, right? And I'm looking at all these documents coming out of the White House, looking at the documents coming from the SEC, the Federal Reserve, the board. And one thing that you notice, they say in order to create this digital dollar or this central bank digital currency, we are consulting with members of equity policy folks, climate change, global warming folks, all these people to make sure that we create the best product possible. Tell me why the United States government talking to Europe and all these other, why would they be speaking to teachers unions? Why would they be speaking to global warming folks? Why would they be speaking to equity experts? Why? Here's something that's pretty frightening. If you have $1 million, you're holding $1 million, and they want to transfer this currency, they want to go from a paper fiat currency to a digital dollar. Imagine this, $1 million, and at the point of airdrop, they're going to give you 40 or 50 cents on the dollar. Okay? They're going to give you 40 or 50 cents on the dollar, and then they're going to give you 2 years to get rid of the rest. That's if you have a net worth of about $1 million. What if you don't have much of a net worth at all? What if you have a net worth less than $100,000? They could airdrop you $1.10 for every dollar that you have in the bank. And it's because you could have been targeted, or you could have been identified as a marginal group. You see how this is getting kind of weird? You see those connections there? $1.10 for every dollar if you've made all the wrong decisions in your life. Now, not everybody makes all the wrong decisions, but one play out of the playbook that these folks use to sell this is they always take the marginal example. 98% of the people can be doing the right thing, but it's the 2% that they blow up to act like it's the 98%. But isn't that scary? It's a redistribution. Now, think about this too. Think about this logically, right? You'd think the United States would create financial and fiscal policy that would reinforce the current dollar that they have. Forget about China trying to screw the United States over. Forget about Russia trying to screw the United States over. The United States is screwing the United States over financially. The decisions that are made at the Federal Reserve are hurting the economy. They're rug pulling the economy. They're going to slow growth. They're going to slow job opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. CBDCs are some scary stuff, folks. Freaking scary. You should be skeptical. Admin keys to the max. Zero privacy. They're not going to have any need for the freaking IRS, or very little, because it's all going to be on chain. It's all going to be tracked. Your name's going to be on every single one of those CBDCs. Cash is gone. How can you transact privately anymore? Careful, folks. They're trying to switch to a new currency. They've debased the dollar enough. They've inflated it. They're inflating it to oblivion. And after everybody at the top's rich, and after all the corporations have their coffers filled, let's switch over to the digital dollar now. We'll just wipe the slate clean. It hasn't happened in about a century, or maybe about 75 to 100 years. We're going to see, folks, scary stuff. Now, why is what happened yesterday such a big, big thing? Twitter, I think that this is the biggest win for free speech in the 21st century, simply because you have so many millions and millions and millions of people that are affected by these new policies that Twitter is going to be pushing down. I told people that I knew from the second that Elon took over, and all of you guys know if you're using Twitter, is it a different experience now? It absolutely is. I'm getting suggestions from groups that I never did. I'm able to access and tap into followers that I haven't before. I'm getting a steady stream of those folks right now. Right? Left and right. How many times have you seen people when you're logging into Twitter right now? They're like, I'm back. I've been banned for 3 years. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Blue check marks for you. Blue check marks for you. What's happening here? What's happening? Here's what's the scary part. Elon Musk bought free speech for $43 billion. That's what Elon Musk did. There's a price tag on free speech. The scary part about all this is governments do not like when big tech doesn't play their game, and they will come down hard on these people. I assure you, they will come down hard. Now, we're going to go back here real quick. We're going to go back to October 5th of 2021, and I want to show you a video that I did talking about exactly how the government operates when you don't play ball. And I'm going to give you a little context. Back then, this was after the election, and Facebook decided to lift a lot of the restrictions that they had on free speech on Facebook. And the government and the left did not like it at all. And if you remember, there was a lady who went on 60 Minutes and tried to dime out Facebook for how horrible they were and unequitable they were, and how they were allowing the right to destroy people's lives by allowing free speech on their platform, et cetera, et cetera. So let's kind of get into this. I'm going to pull that off, and then, yeah, let's press play here. And I'm under the assumption, just based on the comments and me talking to a lot of you, that this is going to apply to you as well. He who owns the spotlight owns the narrative. The monetization and for-profit model of news media ensures two things. One, unethical distribution of knowledge. And really, I shouldn't even say knowledge, but two, sensational lies and fallacies. Without these, the news and media cannot stay competitive. Telling the truth will cause them to lose the crooked game that they are playing. The government is part of the crooked game. They have leverage over the news organizations, and that they have legislative power to intimidate big tech into doing their bidding. Fall in line or you go away. Big tech isn't against taking marching orders. Big tech isn't against taking marching orders from the government because they profit immensely from the official narrative. Well, why do they profit so much? Because the official narrative coming from Washington, no matter what party that we're talking about here, is always fear. And fear makes people a lot of money that are in the media. They always have. It's just like hyperbolic now, because of technology and the speed of data and the speed of information, the energy of information. Okay, folks, so looks like there was a little bit of an echo here, but I'm just going to kind of talk about what that is, right? If you do not play ball with the federal government, they will get back at you by legislation. They definitely will. It happens over and over and over again. In my mind, what I'm expecting here, I'm expecting the federal government to pass some type of legislation. They're going to attack Elon. They're going to attack Elon via the SEC probably. That's probably the easiest way because he has such a history of using tweets to try to manipulate and push things in his favor. I think that you're going to see that. But I think there's going to be a huge push. Even right now, Facebook is facing massive, massive fines and penalties in Europe. You haven't heard about this. Over $6 billion is what Facebook is facing. And it's because if you don't play ball with the governments, they don't like free speech. We are not in a political era right now where free speech is something that's important. It's because they have to push narratives. They have to push power. It goes all the way up. You can follow the money all the way up. And it all connects back down to what we're dealing with right now. 100% truth here. Do you believe that? If I tell you 100% truth, good. You should not. You should not. Barack Obama yesterday called on lawmakers to have tighter regulatory and legislative focus on social media and misinformation. I didn't hear Barack Obama congratulate Elon Musk for the $43 billion purchase. Did you? I didn't hear Biden congratulate Elon either. Why is that? The president of the United States, Elon Musk, has 5 companies worth over $1 billion to $2 billion. He's helped NASA tremendously. Tremendously. NASA was all but shut down until SpaceX came around. Where's that congratulations from Biden? Losing Twitter is a serious blow to the liberal propaganda machine. But, like I said, what do you think will happen in the near future? Will they come down hard on Twitter and Elon? I say yes, and I think it's going to be from a legislative standpoint. All right. Let's check chat, and then we're going to get into We're going to get into why you're poor in crypto. And then we're going to kind of like wrap this all up. 32 minutes in. We've been going in hard. Love it, love it, love it. Let's check us here. Yeah. USA is destroying itself within. What other thing could you say? Like the Fed, the discretionary money policy of the Federal Reserve is destroying America. And it's just taking chunk after chunk after chunk after decade after decade. And they keep saying, well, you know, we learned a lot from the last crisis, and we learned a lot from the last recession, and we're just getting better and better and better, and discretionary policies. The Federal Reserve only really worked when there was a gold standard connected to it, and we've been gone. We've been so far away from that. We have no accountability now. We got 14 or 15 dudes running the show. Are they high IQ? Doesn't friggin' look like it. It looks like they're puppets, man. You get Janet Yellen up there. Oh my gosh. It's like watching something off Star Wars. God dang Jabba the Hutt. 516 would be a nice birthday present. You talking about PulseChain launch? Ramon Carrillo. I don't know, Rags. I don't trust any of these elite. I think Elon is just playing out the script. It may be a temporary freedom. Guys, I'm just going to say this, and I know that there's a lot of people in the community that disagree with me on this. And I could be moonlighting as a smart person and just be really, 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 really dumb, right? I've seen the look in Elon's eyes. I've watched him a lot. I've observed him over 10 years. And I really, really think this dude wants the best for people. And actions speak louder than words. And he's doing a lot right now. He's moved away from California, you know? He's purchased freedom of speech for $45 billion, $43 billion, right? He's done tremendous things. Like, did you guys hear about when SpaceX got that loan, or it might have been Tesla got that loan from the federal government? It's like $500 million. You know, he does an interview and they said, well, the loan for $500 million, you know, you paid that back. You paid that back pretty quick, and you paid the penalty. There was an early payment penalty. And who was it? I don't know. The interviewer, old white lady. She said, why did you do that? And Elon was like, well, I was very appreciative to the taxpayer. I don't like having debt. We had the money to be able to pay the loan off at the time and the prepayment penalty. And that's what happened. I think he understands also that whenever you get type loans or anything, you're in some way a master-slave relationship kind of pops up. He probably didn't want to be too in bed with the federal government, I'd imagine. We have to look for these little hints. We have to look for these little clues. That's what's important, folks. We got to look for hints. We got to look for clues. There's a lot of lies circulating out there, but you can get bits and pieces of the truth if you pay attention. And then when you're on this earth long enough, we got some young folks in here, you know, young myself, relatively speaking. You can start seeing what they said and compare it to what actually happened. And that's where the enlightenment comes from. That's where you start finding the truth, et cetera, et cetera. And it took me a while to be able to figure out what was actually happening, to understand the truth for myself, because I just hadn't been on this earth long enough to see what actually played out and what didn't. All right. They will also try to hold him accountable through events traced back to Twitter posts. The SEC is on that. The SEC sued Elon Musk because he got on Twitter back in 2000, I think it was 2018. And he said he wanted to take Tesla private at $420 per share. And it spiked Tesla's price. The SEC brought charges against him and basically tried to push him away from ever owning or running a publicly traded company ever again. And he's on record saying that I hate the SEC, but I respect the rule of law. He's on record saying that. You can see that. All right, so folks, let's get back into this real quick. Let's take a look. I want to show now. This is some important stuff here. All right. People who hold for less than a month overwhelmingly sell at a loss. Did you guys hear what I said just now? The people out there, the types of people in crypto who hold for less than a month overwhelmingly sell at a loss. Hex does a very good job at fixing this. However, I think that when PulseChain launches, we're going to see much higher amounts of volatility because we don't have that penalty function to lock up some of your Pulse coins without penalty, without major penalty. Other than liquidity providing and PulseX, you don't really have that pain. So I want to make this point here. It's going to be a whole lot easier to sell your Pulse and your PulseX than it is your Hex, obviously, because there's not much pain associated with it. So we need to see as a community what we need to do to try to make max returns and try to understand. If we understand how it works, if we understand actually why it's important to have diamond hands, and if we can prove that it actually works, maybe we can convince some people to do the right thing here. Maybe. So let's check it out, all right? And I'll actually big screen this. All right, so this is what we have here. This is if you guys know about Ben Cohen. I've been following Ben a long time. He's he's a Bitcoin guy. He's an XRP guy. He does all this stuff, but he approaches his portfolio very, very logically, mathematically, and in a way that's risk adverse. And before I found Hex and PulseChain and all that, this guy taught me a whole lot. He taught me a whole lot. You guys have heard of this. Some of you have. It's called HODL waves. All right. So essentially what a HODL wave is, a HODL wave, this will show you the price. And on the bottom here, this has basically time frames. So time frames that assets are held in wallets. So I'm going to point out some very, very interesting things to you folks. And this is going to illustrate how important it is to think in higher time horizons in crypto. Very, very important here. All right. So let's take a look at this. Here's your Bitcoin trading chart or your Bitcoin price chart. If we go back and let's say that we look at folks who on average hold Bitcoin liquidity in their wallet for 1 day to 1 week. All right. So the white line is the price. And then the orange line is the amount of pretty much volume. You can kind of call it volume. So what do you notice here? What do you notice about these people? Think about the people who get in and get out. The people who get in and get out, if we go back to 2013, where we had this double top, we had this spike. Notice what happens. People aren't buying when the market is low. People are buying at the top. You see that? Now I'm proving to you the paper hand and the diamond hand stuff here. So it's very important you take a look at this. Notice this. We had a spike in volume. All right. For on average, the wallets that hold 1 day to 1 week, you have a spike in volume for those folks. So these paper hand people. All right. Now what happens? The bottom falls out. What also happens here? Volume falls down. It's because they're selling off. You see that? They're not accumulating the bottom. They're buying the top and they're caught. And then they're selling off all the way back down. And when the market hits the bottom, they're not rebuying. What happens again? Here's that top, 2013 going into 2014. What happens? They bought the top again, folks. Okay? And then you have no major volume until what happens? 2018. Look at this. It's the biggest volume since 2013. They're buying the top again. They're not accumulating the bottom. In fact, at the bottom of the market here, the very bottom, it's the lowest amount of movement with wallets that hold for an average 1 day to 1 week. They don't care. All right. Let's skip ahead. 1 month to 3 month folks. And I'm going to turn off the other folks here. Okay. This is, again, so interesting to me. So freaking interesting. Look at this. Here's the top. We got no volume for a year and a half while we were, at the bottom. What happens? Boom. They're buying the top. We have the first top in 2013 and then the second top. They're buying the top and then they're selling on the way back down. Bought the top, they're stuck. And these are folks that are in it on average 1 month to 3 months. Now, what happens? Look at 2015, 2016, 2017. Volume is at its lowest. 1 month to 3 months, folks. People on average who hold that long. And then what happens? Look at 2018. Boom. 2018 comes. Huge, huge volume. The biggest volume that you saw in the past 3 or 4 years. And they're buying the top again. They're not accumulating. Not accumulating, folks. Same thing happens. All right, let's cut them off. All right, let's skip ahead. Let's go to 1 year to 2 years. People who on average hold for 1 year to 2 years. Wow. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, can you fathom what we're looking at? I am proving to you right now that people who hold longer make more profit, make much more profit. Trading is not the way to do it in crypto, folks. Look at this. Huge, huge market, right? What were these people doing as the market was going up? They were selling. They were selling off. They were taking their profit. Then what happens? The market spikes and it begins to crash. And at the bottom, look at these folks. The folks who hold for on average 1 to 2 years, they're buying everything. They're buying like crazy. And then it falls off and they're taking profit. Falls off for a second, taking profit. But then it starts spiking again and they don't keep buying. They don't buy on the way up. Do you see that? 2014, we had the crash. And then at the bottom of the market, the buyers, the people who are holders, they're getting more confidence as the market is going down further and further and further. They're accumulating at fire sell. They're accumulating Bitcoin in this instance, cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And they're listening to all this FUD on Twitter, and they are just laughing. They're laughing at all these people. Look at this. Major, major, major buying activity at the bottom of the market. And what do? As the market goes up, they stop accumulating and they start selling off. And it's almost an inverse relationship. We got the top of the market. We had the lowest amount of buy pressure from the folks who on average hold for 1 year to 2 years. Guys, all right. So as we increase these time frames, we see that same type of stuff here, folks. Now we're the folks who hold 2 year to 3 years. They're taking that profit. They're not buying the tops. They're selling off. They're selling off those tops like crazy. And at the bottom of the market, they're reaccumulating. Same thing over and over and over again. Okay. Look, this is the overlay, the 2 year, 3, the 2 years to 3 year folks and the 3 years to 4 year folks. It's the exact same thing, guys. You got to have a 3 to 5 year time horizon when it comes to cryptocurrency. And if you don't, you're going to get wrecked. You're not going to make money. You're just not going to make money. You got to know this when it comes to PulseChain and PulseX, because most of you, I would say probably 80 or 90% of you, other than trash meme coins, you've never been in a layer one project like this on day one. You have got to make sure that you're dollar cost averaging, you're accumulating. And you got to have 3 to 5 year time horizons. 3 to 5 year time horizons, 2 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years. That's really the money in crypto. And if you play it right, you're going to be just fine, folks. Just prove to you why you're going to be just fine. Just proved it. You're not going to have that extra check and balance that you have with Hex and with PulseChain. Your principal's not going to be locked up, and you're not going to get a massive penalty. I would still suggest that you probably take a heavy look at using a validator and participating in some validators. Risk-free way to do it. I'm going to see what chat has to say here. But it's so important. That's such a big message, guys. Don't get sucked into the shiny objects. And I'll admit it, guys. Sometimes I have moments of weakness. If I have moments of weakness and I want to FOMO into some weird coin that I think is going to do whatever 1000x, whatever the case may be, I always stop myself for at least 3 to 5 days and I think about it. I don't make a snap judgment. I don't get too eccentric. I just hold off. And then I ask myself, is the safer, less risky play to get into PulseChain? The answer is always yes. The safer, less risky play to get into PulseX? The answer is always yes, right? Hex, the answer is always yes. It's a game of risk, guys. It's not a game of ROI. It's a game of risk. If you can decrease your risk as much as possible, you can win. As long as you don't nuke and blow up your account in crypto, on a long enough time horizon, you're going to win. It's what I've always said. You can ask anybody in my Telegram group that's been there before even Hex started. We had this Telegram group. All right, let's see here. Elon needs to hire Rags as the presidential campaign manager. No, I'm not smart enough. He would have a huge pool of really, really, really smart people. I'm not that guy. We need to steer the movement. Can't do that fighting against the flow. Roll with what represents our wishes in the time being. If it changes, call it out. Don't disagree. Putting faith in men will always lead you to disappointment and maybe worse. Correct. You can't put faith in men. If you're going to put faith in something, put faith in math. Put faith in God. When it comes to our financial system, we need to put some faith in math and God. Dude, cybernetic eyeball would be so dope. Hell, we all know we want one. Some of us are just afraid to say it. African American takes over Twitter, referring to Elon being South African. I agree. You will see a lot more volatility without a lockup function being used. So important, folks. We got to try to help these folks out. You're going to see volatility. You want to talk about natural redistribution of wealth? It's crypto markets. It's you gotta show people that chart, man. You got to show the HODL waves. You got to. Trust no man, God only. Ben Cohen is where they got the character for Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. I completely agree. But I will say this, Ben Cohen, he's a funny dude. It's the driest, most horrible humor, but I absolutely love it. Pulsating Hexagon, my man is back. Great advice. Let's go Hexagon. Dude, and that's what it's all about, ultimately. Let's freaking go, guys. We are on the precipice of one of the coolest experiences of most of anybody in this chat, most of your lives. We are on the precipice of some really, really, really cool stuff, guys. I don't really think you guys understand the gravity of what's about to happen and the gravity of how important it is for you to be here right at this very second and how fortunate you are. People all over the world don't have this opportunity. We're on the tip of the spear here. And look at the charts. Look at the L1s who've launched. They don't have the community that we have. They don't have the tokenomics that we have. They don't have the founder that we have. They don't have just the general crypto IQ that we have. I can probably pit up against, I can pick anybody who has Hex and PLS in their Twitter profile. I could pick them and probably put them against influencers that have hundreds of thousands of subs, and they would murder them in a debate. Because our crypto IQ as a community is higher than anybody else's in crypto. That would be actually really be a good video. Slow and steady wins the race, guys. Crypto Heartbeat says that, or he says, it's like winning the lottery in slow-mo. That's what this is. You're winning the lottery in slow motion. If you got a day job, keep working, keep putting money in. Keep putting money in. You are in the best place right now. Best place to be in crypto is day one projects, month one projects. What about what is coming in terms of massive inflation segment? Crypto has never seen a massive economic turndown. It has seen a massive economic turndown. Absolutely, it has. I mean, if you consider the total crypto market cap correcting 90%, that's pretty significant. I'd say, let me think here. Pretty much, let's say for every 2 points that traditional finance corrects, you can probably multiply that by about 5, and that you can find the equivalent. So if traditional finance corrects 2 to 3 points, then you're probably looking at a 6 to 10% correction in crypto. So, you know, I would say that. So 50% correction in the stock market, 40 to 50% would equate to what we've seen in crypto many times. Can't understand it because gravity is a myth. Well, I don't know if gravity is a myth. They don't really know what it is, but it's there, whatever the hell it is. Winnie the Winner McFace. Okay, cool. It is. Hex community is the smartest group in crypto, hands down. I don't. They're just there is there anybody else that even comes close? I would like to say no. I've been around long enough to see a lot of it. Yeah, Bitcoin went down from $32 to $3. Ask Richard. Do it smart, guys. Do it freaking smart. If you do this the right way, it's never going to turn back. If you can just control yourself, don't be eccentric. Just control yourself, folks. Briz says 1,200 to 300, 19K to 3K, 69K to 36K. It's the same thing over and over and over again. We are going to have so many new people here. It is not our humanly duty to screw these new people over. Let me make that very clear. It is our duty to continue to educate. Okay. I think that we're going to see a general dilution of our message. Just because we're going to have so many access to so many projects. And now we're dealing with an ecosystem, not just Hex, but all the same things apply. And if you are a person that's been around and I've been in Hex, since 2021, early 2021, right? I haven't been in that long, but if you are quote unquote an OG, it is your responsibility to be kind and patient with these people because you were that person. You were that person. You got lucky and found Hex. All right. A lot of people are going to get lucky and find Hex and PulseChain and PulseX and everything else. So it's your duty to be kind and patient. I don't have any sympathy for people who roast these new people. Now, if these new people are arrogant and this and that, that's different. You can go punch them in the face. That's fine. Whatever. We're good. We're freaking good. So Rags is a hopium dealer. Am I being a hopium dealer? Dude, I feel like I'm backing it up though. I'm backing it up. I'm not just throwing it out there, folks. If the chain is copied, yet people with coins and wallets only get a copy, what happens to all the other copy coins which are not allocated to people because they hold their ERC20s on the exchange? the exchanges get those coins. Whether or not they use them, I don't know. But I will say this: if I was an exchange and I was holding a bunch of ERC20s and I got those copies, now I know Richard too. I think they can determine whether or not what wallets get copies. But if they do get copies, guess what? They're gonna have a bunch of PRC20s sitting in there. What are they gonna do with them? If exchanges are all about making money, I don't know. Maybe they use those PRC20s and create some trading pairs and make some money off of it. That would be the logical thing for me to do if I was running an exchange. I don't know about you. Whales only. What's up, brother? Cryptomatic. What's up? The next wave of new hexkins will all make us. Yeah, that's true. I'm a year old in Hex. I'm not an OG, but I can be patient. Just be patient. It's all you got to do, folks. It's all you got to do. Hey, Brandon, if we stake P-Hex and E-Hex at the same time, are we going to get the same amount of T-shares on both chains? No. Now, if you stake E-Hex before the fork, you're going to get the same amount of T-shares, but it's not going to be the same after the fork. Could be. It's going to be different, probably. Yeah, Hexacat. That's when I got in Rags, January 21st. I think I don't remember if I bought a bag. I don't remember exactly when, but I definitely started looking and making content early 2021, and then I think I had created some stakes right before Alex, and then I made a video right after Alex Saunders got destroyed. And that's what did it for me. All right. Cryptomatic. Yeah, Richard did say still on track. Rags is just reporting the hopium. Thank you. Thank you, dude. I'm just a conduit. I'm a hopium conduit. Thank you, Richard. Richard Hart made my crypto IQ go up too, but Rags makes my overall IQ go down. Thank you. Thank you. Gosh, people actually listen to me. Can you believe that? Even though I tell you don't to Viking Hex, well done. I might make you an admin one day too. There's a song with the secret to getting rich. What's that song? I got a couple songs going in my head, but I'm not going to say it. Can we agree that our duty to explain Hex to all these new people? Absolutely. That's our duty. We got to explain it, folks. 199 people watching this right now. 199 idiots. Can you believe that? I know. This can't be the Rags Are Riches stream. Bro, I average like 31.5 on Tuesdays. Is today Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. I got leg day Thursday. My entire week is I'm thinking about leg day because I hate it. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Never gonna keep me down. Yep. Crypto Stylist, thank you so much. I don't listen to you ever. That I greatly appreciate that, Crypto. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I told Crypto her makeup looked pretty good 2 streams ago. It looks horrible every other stream, but 2 streams ago it looked great. LFG. All right, cool. Guys, yeah. Mud Hog. It is your duty. Hey, dude, come on, guys. Yes. Look at that. That statement's important. What type of person would you be if you learned how to create fire and nobody else knew how to create fire and you're in the middle of a frozen tundra? You're going to say, I'm going to be selfish and just hoard the fire to myself and watch all my friends die, freeze to death. You're not going to freaking do that. You're going to teach people what you've learned because that's how this thing takes off. That's how it takes off. When you empower somebody to do something, it returns to you in droves. It's a synergy. It's back and forth, guys. We got to have that message. Every single person that we meet, it's positive. We're going to help them out. Now, if they're idiots, if they're dumbasses, just let Wales only know. I told Wales that he's the T cell of the Hex community, the Richard Hart community. He'll chop you up. He'll spit you out. You know, pop, pop, little Wales action. Max Bonnet, live Rags. I don't care about you, Max. Davis, you low down dirty son of a gun. Mid-May, 50 buckaroos. Davis, I hope you're getting tax write-offs for all these goddamn donations, man. I know, Christy. This is freaking weird. 187. Dang. All right. I got to stop while I'm ahead. Fire metaphor is fire. You can change my life by becoming my makeup artist, dude. I just like makeup artist. I know how to do clown makeup. That's all I know how to do. That's it. Richard Hart bought Elon, then watches Rags. Oh, Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all over the world, it's been grand. We're going to do this. I think 5 o'clock, 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern is my little niche. We're going to keep doing that. If you got any questions, hit me up on Twitter. As always, I don't really care about anybody here. Do not like, do not comment, and do not subscribe. We are in the den of hope, the hopium den of epic size, so says Ruskino. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm out.